GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, Montreal. I'm Lauren Dupuis. A 45-car freight train derailed north of the city with no injuries, and commuters should expect minor delays from construction-related lane reductions. In sports, Summer McIntosh shattered the 200-meter butterfly world record at the Canadian trials. Over to you, Ryan.
Evelyn Badu scored 3 goals as Montreal Roses FC beat Vancouver Rise FC 5-1 in Northern Super League action.
The match took place yesterday, with Montreal Roses dominating the game from start to finish on a packed stadium.
Vancouver Rise managed only 1 goal scored early in the first half, unable to close the gap.
All right, let's get into it, and start the headlines for today's news, as we bring you the top stories from around Montreal. Good morning, Montreal. Authorities confirmed a 45-car freight train derailed north of the city earlier today. Emergency crews arrived quickly, securing the site and confirming that neither crew members nor nearby residents were hurt. No hazardous material spills were detected, and the line was cleared for inspection by late afternoon. The Transport Safety Board opened a formal investigation into the cause, while police escorted residents back into their homes after a temporary evacuation. Officials said the derailment caused no service interruptions beyond the immediate area, and rail traffic is expected to resume once the investigation concludes. Residents expressed relief at the safe outcome and thanked first responders for their swift action. Environmental officers will continue to monitor the surrounding wetlands for any delayed effects.
Residents of the Villeray-Saint-Michel Park Extension Burr are urging the city and Tennis Canada to halt a proposed revamp of Jarry Park. Community members argue the plan, which envisions new tennis facilities and commercial space, fails to address the needs of neighborhood families and local youth baseball teams that rely on the park's fields. The petition, signed by dozens of households, calls for a redesign that preserves existing playing surfaces and adds affordable recreation options. City officials have said the project aims to boost sport participation and attract regional events, while Tennis Canada highlights potential upgrades to meet international standards. The Municipal Planning Department has scheduled a public hearing for next Thursday, inviting residents to voice concerns before any construction begins. The dispute underscores a broader debate over how public space can be balanced between elite sport ambitions and everyday community use.
The province will end its freeze on new farmland development in January 2027, when the government lifts the long-standing moratorium that barred agricultural land expansion. Officials say the decision aims to increase food security capacity and support rural economies that have struggled under the previous ban. The policy shift follows months of consultation with farmers, municipal leaders, and industry groups, who argued that the freeze limited growth of viable farms and threatened long-term supply. Agriculture ministers will announce the rollout plan next week, outlining criteria for approving new parcels and safeguards to protect prime ecosystems. Critics warn that without strict oversight, the change could spur speculative development, but the government insists that rigorous environmental reviews will remain mandatory. The move marks the first major alteration to Quebec's land use strategy in several years.
2 young adults were pulled from the historic Latching Canal Saturday night after one slipped into the water and the other rushed to help. Both victims, identified as being in their early 20s, were retrieved after roughly 15 minutes of coordinated effort. Emergency crews responded quickly, deploying divers and a rescue boat to bring the individuals ashore. Paramedics treated them at the scene before transporting them to hospital, where they remain in critical condition. Police confirmed the incident occurred near the canal's popular cycling path in the Latching neighborhood, a reminder of the waterway's occasional hazards despite recent revitalization. Officials said the rescue was coordinated between the SPVM, fire services, and the city's water safety team. No other injuries were reported, and investigators are reviewing the circumstances surrounding the fall. City officials said they will examine additional safety signage along the canal's banks.
2 class action lawsuits were filed yesterday in the Quebec Superior Court, accusing the City of Montreal and West Island municipalities of neglecting known flood risks. Plaintiffs allege that despite clear awareness of the hazard, local authorities did not take sufficient measures, to mitigate the heavy rains that inundated parts of the West Island on June 20th. The lawsuits claim the municipalities failed to implement adequate drainage improvements, warning systems, and emergency response plans, leaving homes and businesses exposed to costly water damage. Legal counsel for the residents says the inaction violated duty of care owed to citizens. City officials have not yet responded publicly to the filings. The cases could force significant policy changes and financial compensation if the court finds the governments liable for the recent flooding. The litigation underscores growing concerns about climate resilience across the island. Later, we'll break down Summer McIntosh's stunning 200-meter butterfly world record and what it means for Canadian swimming. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
At Stuart Hall today, the community gathers for its annual picnic competition, featuring a special teddy bear picnic representation, all set against the picturesque lake shore. I'm joining citizen reporter Jacqueline Laflamme live from the scene. Jacqueline.
Good afternoon. We're here at Stuart Hall today, and they have their annual picnic competition, and I'm here representing the Teddy Bear Picnic.
Jacqueline, it sounds like a lively gathering. Can you describe how the community is setting up today?
This is a wonderful community event, and there are quite a few members of our wonderful community here on the lake shore participating. And everybody is very busy right now setting up their picnic table.
With tables being arranged, what's the timeline for the competition and who's helping run the judging?
So the judging for the picnic starts today at 12 o'clock. And I would like to also introduce the Friends of Stuart Hall, who are quite instrumental in getting this event together and for the judging.
You mentioned the Friends of Stuart Hall. How are they involved, and what's the event's main goal today?
So this is really a wonderful event that takes place at Stuart Hall. It's represented by the City of Pointe Claire. And what we hope to do today is raise awareness and just have a great time.
Now that the day is underway, what are the judges looking forward to, and how's the weather affecting the festivities?
So we're super excited for the judges to do their thing so that everybody could sit down and start to enjoy all their lovely snacks that they brought today. And it's a beautiful sunny day, and we all hope to have an amazing, amazing time. And thank you again to Stuart Hall and the City of Pointe Claire.
Thanks, Jacqueline, for the update. We'll keep an eye on the competition. Back to the studio. Welcome back. I'm here with the latest headlines. Then we'll turn to Ryan Mercer for today's local stories you need to hear.
Summer McIntosh shattered the women's 200-meter butterfly world record during the opening day of the Canadian swimming trials in Montreal. Earlier today, she posted a time that eclipsed the previous mark set in 2009, securing her place on the national team headed for upcoming international meets. The fast-track venue buzzed as spectators watched the young swimmer glide through the water in under 2 minutes and 40 seconds, a milestone that will boost Canada's medal hopes. Coaches said the performance sets a new benchmark for the squad, while fans celebrated the achievement with cheers that echoed through the pool deck. With the trials now underway, McIntosh's record adds momentum as the team finalizes its lineup for the summer championship circuit. The community's pride swelled as local schools organized viewings, and the Federation announced that the new time will be the benchmark for the Pan American Games roster.
Yesterday, the iconic Patrouille de France took to the sky over the city, drawing eyes upward as their sleek jets traced bright trails across the afternoon. At 14:46, the formation swept past downtown, offering a brief but vivid display for commuters and park-goers alike. The roar of the engines lingered for a moment before the team continued east, reaching Quebec City at 15:10, where residents again paused to watch the synchronized maneuvers. The French Air Force Aerobatic Squadron, known for its precision flying during worldwide tour, added a splash of international flair to the usual traffic and street sounds. For families heading home or students waiting for the next bus, the unexpected spectacle provided a memorable pause in the routine, reminding viewers of the global connections that sometimes glide right above their heads.
Kirby Dach, the Canadiens forward whose current deal expires at season's end, will file for salary arbitration today after receiving a one-year, $4 million qualifying offer. The arbitration request signals the player's intent to negotiate new terms rather than accept the offer as is. Under league rules, filing triggers a neutral arbitrator who will hear arguments from both the club and the player before issuing a binding award. If the arbitrator sets a figure higher than the qualifying offer, the Canadiens must honor it. If lower, the club can decline and retain the player's rights. Dach's agent confirmed the move aims to secure a longer-term contract reflective of his on-ice contributions. The decision could influence the team's salary cap planning ahead of next season's roster moves and will be closely watched by fans and analysts alike.
Yesterday at noon, Daniel Gagnon of the Epic Center within the Montreal Heart Institute shared the latest results of a citywide heat adaptation study on CBC Montreal. He outlined practical steps for neighborhoods, schools, and businesses to reduce indoor temperatures, expand shade, and promote cooling centers during extreme days. The research emphasizes planting street trees, installing reflective roofing, and encouraging residents to stay hydrated. Gagnon also highlighted low-cost measures, such as community cooling hubs in libraries and gyms, and the importance of real-time temperature alerts to help vulnerable populations plan outdoor activities. The Epic Center aims to translate these findings into municipal guidelines that can be rolled out before the next summer peak. Officials hope the recommendations will bolster everyday resilience as the climate trends toward hotter conditions. Residents can expect local parks to feature more shaded walkways and water stations as part of the plan.
Violent thunderstorms that rolled across the Montérégie region in late June have left a trail of damage on the area's vegetable farms. As of today, 396 growers have submitted damage notices to Financière Agricole, the provincial agricultural insurance agency. Roughly half of the vegetable producers in the region carry insurance, meaning many are navigating the claims process while assessing losses. The storms have ripped crops from the ground, flooded fields, and toppled greenhouse structures, threatening supply chains that feed the province. Farm operators are working with insurers to document the damage and secure compensation, while some are already replanting in cleared rows. Local markets have reported fewer vegetables and shoppers may see modest price bumps soon. The sector, a major employer, now faces a tough season. Officials say the weather pattern that sparked the storms may persist, keeping growers on alert for further disruptions.
Now let's see what the morning forecast holds for you. Over to the weather team.
Unsettled jet stream from the west slices high pressure, setting up a hot, clear day across Montreal. On this date, Montreal once burned to 34 degrees, a record set in 2025 during a lingering heat wave that pushed the entire province into the mid-30s. The cold side of the ledger reads 14.7 degrees, recorded in 2020 when an Arctic blast slipped south, blanketing the city in frost despite summer. By contrast, the climatological normals for early July hover around 27 degrees maximum and 19 degrees minimum, so today's 22-degree start feels comfortably between the extremes. The live radar shows a blank canvas, no rain echoes across the province, no squall lines, no lingering echoes. With high pressure dominating and only a gentle pressure fall, the air mass remains subsident, inhibiting lift. The westward jet at roughly 70 kilometers per hour rides above, steering any distant disturbances far north of us. With the sky clear now, we turn to today's surface outlook. At 7 this morning, Montreal sits at 22 degrees, clear sky and 11% cloud cover. Humidity is 69%, dew point 16, and a north wind of 13 kilometers per hour. High pressure remains, but is falling as a weak trough approaches from the west. That trough rides under a fast westward jet of about 70 kilometers per hour, which will later push the ridge north and allow temperatures to climb. Sunshine dominates, lifting the high toward 30 degrees by mid-afternoon. UV index reads 7, indicating strong solar intensity. Winds stay below 25 kilometers per hour, shifting to a light southeast breeze of 14 kilometers per hour this evening. No weather alerts are in effect, so the day remains safe for all activities. Now let's glance at the 5-day outlook. Tuesday continues the warm spell with a high of 29 and a low of 18, clear skies all day. Wednesday sees a modest rise to a high of 30, but cloud cover thickens, keeping lows near 21. Thursday brings the first rain chance as a weak front pushes a light shower band across the region, offering a 45% probability and a high of 31. Friday's high drops to 26, yet lingering moisture still yields a 45% rain chance despite mostly clear skies. Saturday rounds the week with a comfortable 27-degree high and 19-degree low under clear skies. The pattern reflects a lingering ridge nudged northward by the westerly jet, allowing occasional troughs to slip in and bring brief showers. Overall, temperature swings stay within a 10-degree band, and the occasional rain windows keep the forecast dynamic. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll have traffic updates, a look at the Pussycat Dolls tour, and the story behind Steve's music store closing. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Highway 40 on the Isle-aux-Torts Bridge is down to 5 lanes, 2 each way and 1 alternating, as bridge work continues. Expect a steady slowdown during the morning rush. Add 10 minutes if you're crossing the river. Highway 19 at the Papillon-Leblanc Bridge stays limited to 2 lanes each direction with nightly partial closures through 2026, so merge early. On Highway 20 near Harwood and Bellemare, lane widths are narrowed and the speed limit is 40 km per hour, with occasional overnight closures, so allow extra time around Vaudreuil-Dorion. In the city, Jean Talon Street remains closed for the Blue Line extension. Buses 141, 188, and 372 run detours and Shuttle 814 operates. Ste Catherine and Bayry Streets stay closed in their segments, and Pi Roman 9 Boulevard is reduced to 1 lane each way between Pierre de Coubertin Avenue and Notre Dame Street. No transit delays are reported, so trains and buses run on schedule.
The Pussycat Dolls are taking over Center Bell tonight, headlining the PCD Forever Tour with Lil' Kim and MYA, so if you love a high-energy pop show, grab a ticket before they sell out. It's a rare chance to hear their classic hits live in Montreal. Later, the Fever Fate X Montreal party rolls out at Suite 662, where a live DJ spins fresh beats, and the bar serves creative cocktails, an ideal spot to unwind after work. Tomorrow, acclaimed Malian vocalist Almu Sangare performs at MTELUS, bringing her Grammy-winning voice and powerful West African rhythms to an intimate venue, a cultural experience not to miss. From Thursday through Saturday, Startup Fest lights up the Old Port, gathering innovators for pitch competitions, workshops and networking, plus food trucks and live music, so keep an eye on the buzz if you're dreaming of the next big idea. And now here's Tyler with sports.
Local soccer dominates and a Habs veteran heads west. Montreal Roses FC put on a show Saturday, rolling past Vancouver Rise FC 5-1 in Northern Super League play. Evelyn Badu was the story, netting a hat trick to drive the dominant win. According to CBC Sports Soccer, it was a commanding performance from the Roses. A notable roster move from the Canadians, Montreal has traded forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations. CBC Sports NHL reported the deal on June 29. Gallagher, a longtime face of the franchise, moves west as the Habs continue reshaping their roster. Before his departure to Vancouver, the city of Montreal honored Brendan Gallagher with one of its highest recognitions, naming him an honorary citizen. The ceremony took place at City Hall, a fitting tribute to a player who gave this community everything he had.
Steve's Music Store on St. Laurent in downtown Montreal has been the city's go-to spot for guitars, brass and sheet music for more than 6 decades. Today the family-run shop announced it will close its doors after its final location shutters this week, following the earlier loss of its other branches. For generations of budding musicians, Steve's was more than a retailer. It was a place to try a new instrument, get advice from seasoned staff, and hear the buzz of rehearsals in the back room. Its closure leaves a quiet gap in the downtown arts corridor, where students and street performers have relied on its expertise. Steve's showed us that a small shop can shape the sound of Montreal. And stay tuned for a look at how Montreal can beat heat, thanks to a researcher's plan. We will be right back.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local Sunset Montreal's evening newscast.
On a crisp Saturday morning in the historic neighborhood of Little Burgundy, I met Marie-Claude, a retired midwife who has lived in the Témiscamingue region all her life. With the obstetrics wing at Ville Marie Hospital closed for most of the summer, expectant mothers have been forced to travel hours to Montreal or Gatineau for care. Determined not to let distance become a barrier, Marie-Claude gathered a small team of volunteer nurses, a local bakery, and the municipal bus service. Together, they launched a pop-up prenatal clinic in the community center, offering blood pressure checks, nutrition workshops, and gentle yoga sessions under a bright banner that read, "Together we grow." One mother, 27 weeks pregnant, told me how the extra support turned a lonely road trip into a shared celebration, and her baby's first ultrasound was performed right there, on a borrowed screen, while the scent of fresh croissants filled the room. The simple act of neighbors coming together has reminded everyone that health care is more than a building, it's the caring hands that surround us. And that is why we keep moving forward, hand in hand.
In the quiet streets of Rivière des Prairies, a family home awoke to a plume of orange-tinged smoke curling above the roof at dawn. Within minutes, the wail of sirens announced the arrival of a massive fire crew, a convoy of engines that stretched the length of the block. Roughly 100 firefighters from across the city poured into the scene, their helmets glinting like sunrise on the river. As the flames licked the second alarm blaze, a neighbor, Madame Levesque, stepped forward with a basket of fresh baguettes, offering a small comfort to the weary crew. Inside, a mother clutching her newborn was guided down a soot-blackened hallway by a veteran firefighter named Jacques, whose steady hand steadied her trembling heart. The blaze was tamed before it could claim more than smoke, and the family emerged, eyes wide with relief, to the applause of onlookers. The community gathered, sharing coffee and stories, while the fire crew lingered to clean up, laughing together in the cool morning air. It's moments like these that remind us how tightly our city's heart beats together.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us this morning. A special congratulations to Summer McIntosh for setting a new 200-meter butterfly world record at the Canadian Trials. We'll keep you informed on the train derailment, the Lachine Canal rescue, and more. Tune in tomorrow for another bright start.